Hello there, in this video we're going to be reacting to what if Yoda fought Dooku with Anakin and Obi Wan in Attack of the Clones. This Star Wars What If is made by the Star Wars Galaxy, so make sure to subscribe to him and check his original video out. Links in the description. Subscribe to me as well, as we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. And one cool question for you guys before we start: should I make my own Star Wars What If, just like the ones we react in these videos? Let me know in the comments yes or no, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so before we start this What If, I just want to say, this original duel from Attack of the Clones, when Anakin and Obi Wan fought Dooku, that duel was pretty cool, right? You know, it showed that Anakin is an arrogant little shit, and Obi Wan, you know, he did good. You know, he blocked the lightning well, considering the Sith have been extinct for 1,000 years, and he just saw Sith lightning for, you know, first time in 1,000 years. But then he got shitted on by Dooku because, you know, Obi Wan always gets shitted on by Dooku. You know, Dooku is just his weakness. And then we got the duel when Yoda arrived, Yoda versus Dooku, which I think that duel is actually highly underrated. I love that duel between Yoda and Dooku. So, yeah. But this is going to change everything, as Yoda will now arrive before Obi-Wan and Anakin engage him, which means that it's going to be Anakin, Yoda, and Obi-Wan versus Dooku at the same time. So this will change things a lot. Like, Dooku has to lose here. But hey, let's get into it.
What if Yoda fought Dooku with Anakin and Obi-Wan in Attack the Clones?
Let's go.
That's our story for today. Hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it.
Alright.
Our story begins on Geonosis. The battle between Republic and Separatists, droids and clones,
Very
is
cool
raging
battle.
all around the sandy planet. Separatist forces
Australia,
are in
bro.
full evacuation, taken completely off guard by the arrival of the clone army. Just seconds before they arrived, Dooku and the Separatists were ready to execute the remaining Jedi that arrived in Windu Strike Force. But now they were all outside of the arena in an all-out war. The clones weren't prepared for this. The Jedi weren't prepared. No one was. But still, they fought on, pushing through the sandstorm created by exploding ships all around. It was chaos.
Yeah, it looked like hell
in the
in the
middle
movie.
of this chaos was Grand Master Yoda. Yoda
Cabbage
watched
I
what
am.
decades of political incompetence and stagnancy in the Jedi Order has led to. It was all-out war, and the only way to stop it was to cut off the head of the snake. And as Yoda was landing to lead a squad of clones, a ship flew overhead. Dooku's ship. Yoda didn't waste any time. He knew that if he could get to Dooku, he could end this war today.
Indeed.
So, he flipped back into the gunship, ordering the clones to follow Dooku. The gunship rose into the air, quickly getting in line with another ship that was also following Dooku. Yoda looked out of the open door to see Skywalker and Kenobi in the
of course
other
it's
ship.
them, bro.
The two gunships lined up as Dooku ordered his droids to get behind them and try to take the ships down. There was now a dogfight in the air as the clone gunships were trying to avoid being shot down. The ship that Yoda was in was hit hard in the back engine, and Yoda stumbled to the door, barely grabbing a side of the ship before pulling out his lightsaber, deflecting more shots from the droids behind them.
Okay, interesting.
Yoda yelled at his clone pilot to eject, saying he will be alright. And so, the pilot did eject from the ship.
Okay.
Yoda called upon the Force, flipping out of the gunship as it exploded, for more firepower.
Wow,
And then
magic frog.
Grandmaster Yoda landed inside of the ship that was carrying Skywalker and
What?
Kenobi.
That's insane.
Anakin was looking back to where Padme just fell, and Yoda assured him that the clones will get her out of there just fine. Now they have a job to do. Anakin slowly nodded, and the three Jedi would soon run out of the gunship as it landed at the forward command
Dooku has to be
center,
screwed here.
getting inside right as the ship went down. And inside of the command center, Dooku was toying with a control panel as his droid readied his ship to take him to Coruscant as the three Jedi entered together.
I wonder why Coruscant.
Dooku slowly turned around, looking from Obi-Wan to Anakin, and then to Yoda. Dooku remarked that he is honored to have three Jedi personally coming after him, and Yoda sadly told Dooku that he has become overconfident, and they will stand together against him.
I mean, hey, in this fight, Yoda was overpowering Dooku. You can see that Dooku goes defensive in this fight, in the movie originally, and then Dooku obviously drops the freaking pillar on Obi-Wan and Anakin, so Yoda has to stop pursuing fighting Dooku to save them, which gives Dooku a chance to escape. And if, you know, Dooku didn't have the chance to escape, he would have get eventually beaten by Yoda, but now they're all here together, so I don't see how this will go well for Dooku.
Dooku chuckled, telling the Jedi they don't know the power of the dark side. Despite not being in the Order for around a decade, Dooku did know these Jedi well from Palpatine telling him about what is going on in the Order. Obi-Wan Kenobi, former Padawan to Qui-Gon Jinn, who trained under Dooku himself. Dooku would be lying if he said he didn't have a soft spot for Kenobi, and he knew how much Yoda admired Kenobi as well. And of course,
Kenobi's cool,
Anakin
Space
Skywalker, the so-called Chosen One, the one Sidious was obsessed with. And then his own former master, Grand Master Yoda, the one Dooku blamed for the fall of the Jedi. The three Jedi stared at Dooku, lightsabers ignited. Obi-Wan was saying that they will take him together when Anakin's rage took over and he sprinted right at Dooku. With a smile, Dooku shot lightning at Anakin, but Yoda flipped in front of Anakin to block the lightning with the Force.
Immediately just changed the battle, as originally, Anakin being a stupid idiot, got fucked by the lightning, but now Yoda blocks it, so Anakin is not fucked by the lightning.
Firing it back into the wall. Yoda ordered Anakin to get back, as Dooku tried firing more lightning at Yoda, but it was no use. Dooku even tried ripping lamps from the wall, tearing the ceiling apart to throw debris at the Jedi. But with Anakin understanding
the Force
Dooku's power now, the three of them stopped Dooku's Force attacks together. And so, Dooku pulled out a lightsaber. Dooku looked to the open ramp of his ship, and he knew he just needed to find a way to distract the Jedi so he could board the ship and get out of here. And so with his red blade at the ready, Dooku would strike first, lunging at Obi-Wan with a quick, precise move. Obi-Wan blocked it, and the two of them engaged in a quick duel. As they exchanged blows, Anakin moved in from Dooku's side. His own attacks were aggressive, as he wanted to bring down the man ordering Padme's assassinations. Dooku deflected Anakin's strikes with ease, but the intensity of Anakin's assault forces him to shift his focus.
Yeah, Anakin's pretty aggressive,
Yoda watched all of this, his eyes narrowed, analyzing Dooku's movements, and as Dooku deflected another one of Anakin's heavy strikes, Yoda leapt into action, flipping through the air to land on the opposite side of Dooku. With a blur of speed, Yoda thrusted his lightsaber towards Dooku's back. Dooku sensed the attack, spinning around, narrowly avoiding the green blade as it seared his cloak, and he was forced to give ground. Dooku was on the defensive, fending off attacks from every one of his sides as Obi-Wan and Anakin worked in tandem, their blades flashing as they coordinated their strikes, forcing Dooku to move constantly. Yoda, with his own speed and agility, was striking from every angle, keeping Dooku off balance. Dooku was losing quickly, but he was much more powerful than Skywalker and Kenobi. He just had to separate them. So Dooku, breathing heavily, feigning weakness, waited for an opening with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and when they swung to attack, Dooku swung underneath, cutting deep into Obi-Wan's leg, before turning and blasting both of them with lightning, as they crashed hard into the wall, helping Dooku momentarily clear some space. But Yoda was relentless, pressing his attack with a flurry of strikes. Dooku barely managed to block each one, retreating further into the command center. Dooku barely ducked as Yoda sliced into the control panel before landing in a ready position. Dooku had his teeth gritted as he told Yoda his skills were impressive, even at his old age.
They are indeed.
But this war is only beginning. The time of the Jedi is over. Yoda tilted his head, serenely telling Dooku that he's already defeated himself. He is alone in his quest for power. Dooku angrily turned to try and officially kill Anakin and Obi-Wan, hoping to distract Yoda into saving them. But he realized Anakin was no longer on the ground. A moment later, a kick to his head sent Dooku crashing to the floor. Yoda seized the moment, launching himself at Dooku with a spinning attack, as Dooku raised his blade to parry while on the ground. But the combined pressure from Yoda and Anakin in this moment was too much. Yoda flipped to the ground, slicing through both of Dooku's wrists, and he was defeated. Anakin raised his lightsaber up, ready to strike down Dooku, but Yoda raised his own hand, stopping Anakin. Yoda told Anakin that they can end this war with his capture, but if he is killed, he becomes a martyr. And before Dooku could say a word, Yoda used a strong force push to slam Dooku into the wall, knocking him out as a squad of clone troopers, along with Padme Amidala, sprinted into the room, placing the unconscious Dooku in handcuffs, or wrist cuffs, and dragging him out to a gunship waiting for the Jedi. Once Dooku was gone, Yoda looked back to where his body just was, and he noticed something on the ground.
What is it?
It was some sort of hologram file.
Dude, are those going to be the Death Star plans? Oh, shit. Because you remember in episode 2, Palo Lusser, the fucking Geonosian monkey, gives Dooku the Death Star plans, and Dooku gives those plans to Palpatine in the movie when he escapes to Coruscant. Oh, shit. If that's the Death Star plans, the Republic is going to have so much more leverage, and the Jedi are going to have so much more leverage, because they have the Death Star plans. They have proof that the Separatists are trying to build a big fucking planet killer.
That clearly fell from Dooku's robes. Yoda picked it up, and he found out it was some sort of data disk with schematics. So Yoda turned it on. and he saw the battle plans to the DS-1 super weapon,
It
otherwise known as the Death Star. A chill ran down Yoda's spine as he looked upon this planet-killing weapon, the ultimate weapon of the Separatists. As the clones, Padme, and Jedi were preparing to get out of here, Anakin paused. He looked at Dooku's ship, and he remembered the pilot droid that was rolling inside before the duel. He looked to make sure
maybe Anakin is being smart and thinking, where was he planning to go?
Obi-Wan safely was taken to a gunship before Anakin boarded Dooku's ship and asked the droid where it was headed. The droid said that was classified for only Dooku to know, so Anakin ignited his blade, telling the droid that Dooku is dead, and this backfired immediately, as the droid went into self-destruct protocol. Anakin began
Okay, Anakin, I just said Anakin is maybe going to be smart, but no, he's just a stupid idiot.
Panic, slicing open the back of the droid's head and quickly reworking some of the wiring inside to reset the droid's base settings right before it could self-destruct. He didn't erase any data from its memory banks, and once finished, the droid turned back to Anakin, asking how it could be of service. Anakin asked the droid if now it could bring him to the coordinates set in place by Dooku, and the droid said it could. So with an intrigued smile, Anakin ran out of the ship and got to Yoda, telling him the droid will take them to whoever Dooku was set to be meeting with.
Dude, this is good because Anakin just discovered that they can use Dooku's ship to get to whoever Dooku's going to, which is Sidious, right? So if Yoda and Anakin now fly over there, they're gonna meet Sidious. But is this so smart? Because Yoda's probably gonna know that Sidious, blah, blah, blah. Dooku's probably meeting with the big Dark Lord, right? So they should not fly to him alone, you know?
Yoda, still feeling responsible for getting the Jedi into this mess, would not pass up this opportunity.
Okay.
So he called to Mace Windu and told him to organize a group of Jedi, then meet him in the command center. Before long, Windu arrived in a gunship with Ki-Adi-Mundi, Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, and Aayla Secura. Obi-Wan was unable to walk with the gash in his leg, so Kit Fisto and Padme told Anakin that they would take him back to the temple.
Oh, see, this is sad because I want Space Jesus to join in on this mission. You know, it'd be cool to have the Master of Defense with him.
That Dooku was also properly taken care of. Windu would place a homing beacon on Dooku's ship, and Yoda got into the ship with Anakin as they flew to space, jumping to hyperspace with Dooku's coordinates that were taking them to Coruscant. Windu and his squad of Jedi tracked the ship through hyperspace, following very close behind. And as they moved through hyperspace, Yoda realized now that he was going to have some alone time with Anakin.
Yep.
And Yoda recalled only a few days ago when he felt the rage, the pain, terrible pain radiating across the galaxy. Yoda had felt Anakin's pain, and now that they were alone, Yoda asked Anakin if everything was alright. And for the first time in many hours, Anakin remembered his mother again. The battle had distracted him from his overwhelming sadness, but now it was back. Yoda could sense it too, and he asked Skywalker what it was. Anakin sat back in the ship, and he said that he went to save his mother. He was having nightmares of her dying, and Obi-Wan just wouldn't let him go. Through tears in his eyes, Anakin turned, and he told Yoda he could not just let her die. The Force was showing him that she was in trouble, and he thought, as a Jedi, it was his duty to save her. Anakin balled his hands into a fist, as he said that he was too late. She died on Tatooine after months of suffering, torture, and being kept by those animals. Yoda closed his eyes, remembering the first time that he and the Council ever tested Anakin. In that moment, Ki-Adi-Mundi said it. His thoughts dwelled on his mother, and even after a decade without her, when Shmi was in danger, Anakin could feel it. Anakin's ability to feel when those close to him are in danger was unbelievable.
Why is Yoda bald in that image? That's cursed.
It was a danger to the Jedi. Yoda was about to tell Anakin that he is sorry for what happened when Anakin, staring blankly into the blue light of hyperspace, told Yoda that he killed them. Every single last one of them.
Okay, that changes things, you know? Yoda's gonna be like, what the shit?
Men, women, and children. Anakin angrily said that he slaughtered them all like the animals they are. And now Yoda realized why he felt the rage and the power. Yoda really didn't know what to say. For all of his 900 years as a Jedi, he'd never really dealt with someone like Anakin. Someone so strong, so loyal, yet so destructive. But Yoda did remember hearing the voice of Qui-Gon when Anakin slaughtered the Tuskens, and he knew he must pursue that long-lost voice once all of this is over,
Yep.
and he would have Anakin help him find Qui-Gon. Before long, the ship emerged from hyperspace and descended into Coruscant. Yoda and Anakin anticipated the ship landing in one of these royal buildings, but the ship zoomed over the top of the great city and deep into the industrial sector.
Ooh.
All of a sudden, the Force felt colder, darker, and Yoda warned Anakin they need to be ready for anything. Luckily, the Jedi squad was just behind them, and Dooku's ship soon flew into a hangar of a tall building.
And Palpatine, aka Sidious, aka the big dark black lord, big dark whatever. Sidious is there.
The ramp lowered, and from one of the mirrors, Anakin saw a hooded figure emerge from a corner and begin approaching the ship. Yoda and Anakin both ran to the ramp, igniting their lightsabers and telling this mysterious being to stand down. They're here to arrest him. Sidious kept his face hidden under his hood, genuinely taken aback by this, but he trusted in his abilities to take these two Jedi down. Or perhaps
You were losing the lightsaber fight against Yoda in Revenge of the Sith, right? Now it's Phantom Menace. It's Attack of the Clones, so it's probably going to be the same result. But now Anakin is here, and the Jedi Task Force, which is about to come in as well.
bring Anakin to his side right now. But a second later, the Jedi ship flew in, and Windu, Plo, Mundi, and Ayla jumped out of it, landing behind Sidious, and they too ignited their blades. So Sidious was out of options. He called a lightsaber into both of his hands and ignited the two red blades,
That's serious.
holding them to his sides. His laughter echoed around the lair as the six Jedi began slowly moving in, circling the Sith Lord. Sidious waited until the perfect moment, then spun through the air, spinning his blades through Ki-Adi-Mundi to rip him apart, before turning and blasting lightning into the floor, knocking the remaining Jedi down.
Oh shit.
Sidious leapt into the air, slamming both blades down on Ayla Secura. As she held Sidious back, he tilted his head up to reveal his face, and in Sakura's shock, Sidious spun
Nah, it's Palps!
to cut off her head.
Oh, okay.
The other
Alright,
Jedi
she's
tried
dead.
to stop this, but the Sith Lord's movements were impossibly fast, a blur of red dancing around the room to avoid the Jedi's strikes. Windu got back into the battle with his purple blade. The Vapad form of combat that Windu mastered was making him a deadly combatant, as he used the Sith darkness against him. Plo Koon was approaching with a calmness that balanced the power and rage of Windu and Skywalker, each strike aimed to weaken Sidious's defenses. And Yoda spun around as a small but fierce flurry of light, flipping and twisting with acrobatics as he sought to take down the Sith. The battle intensified as the Jedi coordinated their attacks together, fighting after the initial surprising onslaught. Sidious did counter with a surge of raw power, sending Anakin crashing into a pillar. But Plo moved in swiftly, his own saber slicing through the air to just miss the Sith Lord. Sidious spun to cut into Plo's side, pushing the Jedi Master to the ground, stabbing his blade into his side.
No!
But Plo reached forward, grabbing the hilt of Sidious's saber and pulling it out of Sidious's hand, further into his own body.
What?
The pain was extreme, but it allowed Windu and Yoda to move in.
Okay,
as Windu
I
cut
see.
through Sidious's other hand,
Sacrifice himself.
and Yoda slashed through his eyes, removing his hood. Sidious fell to the floor in a blind rage, screaming out in pain, and the Jedi saw who it was under the hood. Palpatine. He scrambled back to his feet, ready to continue this fight even without a hand or his eyes. But Anakin's blade suddenly plunged through the back of his spine.
Oh, okay.
And with a final gasp, Sidious died.
Womp womp.
The Sith Lord was gone. His apprentice, Dooku, was captured and placed into carbonite before he could wake up, and he may never be released.
Okay.
And in a
that's-
Senate meeting to discuss the news of the
Brutal.
Battle of Geonosis, the Jedi announced they were taking control of the Senate, effective immediately. There were naturally a ton of outcries, saying this was outrageous, but Windu plugged the plans to the Death Star in, and he showed the entirety of the Senate. Windu said this is who the leaders of the Separatist leaders are. They don't want peace, they want war and destruction, but with the defeat of their leaders, they will not get what they want. The Separatist Senate would meet with Padme and the Loyalist Committee within hours, and Padme would also bring a copy of the Death Star schematics, telling the Separatist Senate they cannot negotiate with a group that works with the Separatist Council that created the plans for this weapon. So within hours, the Separatist Senate would exile those like Newt Gunray, Pongo the Lesser, Sandhill, Wat Tambor, and the other corporate leaders from their cause.
Yeah, what's gonna happen with Grievous though?
Their location would be given to the Jedi, and arrests would be made. The war would essentially be over after the first battle, and the cloning program of Kamino would be shut down, as the clones currently ready for battle would become Republic security members or be free to live out their lives however they saw fit. Grandmaster Yoda would learn to speak with Qui-Gon, and he would take the now secretly married Anakin Skywalker to Dagobah, along with Obi Wan, as they too learn to talk to their old master, now continuing to learn from Qui-Gon after death, as Anakin reconciled with his heartless slaughter of the Tuscans, learning to get rid of his darkness. He would live on with Padme as his wife, under a rebuilding, safe Republic, away from war for many years, as Yoda took him under his wing to prepare Anakin to become the eventual Grand Master of the Jedi Order, all in due time. And folks, that is our video for today.
Hey, I really like this what if. I mean, it's a short, pretty short what if, you know? 17 minutes, 18 minutes. But I really like it. It's great. And yeah, the outcome was as I thought. You know, Dooku got screwed over and the Jedi soon got to Sidious and screwed him over too. But I like this what if a lot. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I just like it. It's a simple, short what if, but really good one at that. So, yeah, 10 out of 10 is what I'm giving this what if. Let me know what you guys rate this what if in the comments, if you agree with my rating or if you disagree. And yeah, that's it.
So that is it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe to the Star Wars Galaxy and check his original video out. Links in the description. Subscribe to me as well, as we are trying to 1,000 subscribers at the end of 2024. Like the video if you enjoyed, and turn your notifications to be notified the next time I post a video like this. Share this video with anybody you know. And one quick question before we end: should I make my own Star Wars what ifs? Would you guys want me to do that? Just like the ones we react to in these videos. Let me know in the comments yes or no. And let me know in the comments what if you enjoyed this video. You know, I love the feedback, as always. And yeah, thank you for watching. This is the way, may the Force be with you. Till then, I will see you next time.
Hey, you didn't watch it? Well, check out the video on the left side of the screen, which is specifically recommended for you, or check out the playlist on the right of the screen, which contains similar videos to this one, made by me, of course. Hey, remember, subscribe.